So, good morning. We're trying something new here, coffee with the chaplain. And so this time of year, we study the tractate Sota between Pesach and Shavuos, between Passover and Pentecost. The holiday that we got out of Egypt for is to receive the Torah on Shavuos. And in the interim, we study the tractate Sota. And so yesterday was the 13th day of the Omer, and was studying the page 13. And I came across something that struck me. It made me really think of my youth, because I really enjoy Star Trek, the original series. I've watched the original series growing up, and one of the characters on the in the series is Dr. McCoy, also known as Bones McCoy. DeForest Kelley was the actor that played that part, and so what was learning Soita reminded me about Star Trek, because they have a question in the Gemara about who's called Bones in his lifetime. Who was called Bones? And when I was learning this and seeing the question in the Gemara, I thought, Dr. McCoy. That's who's called Bones. The Gemara has a different answer. The Gemara says Joseph, Yosef HaTzadik, was called Bones, Atzomos, during his lifetime. The Gemara makes a point to say that it's during his lifetime. So the story is as follows, that Joseph was sold by his brothers down to Egypt, and there in Egypt he became, through a series of events, became the second in command, the viceroy of the country, of the kingdom. And come along his brothers later because of a famine, and they came down to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, to be able to purchase provisions. And they come in front of Yosef, and and when they refer to Yaakov, their father, they refer to him as our father, your servant. And Yosef said nothing. Yosef lo micha, didn't raise a protest, v'lemide, and didn't remark anything. That's what the Gemara says. And as a result of that, he's referred to as Atzomos, even when he was alive. He's called Bones, even when he's alive. Now, the reason it's talking about the bones of Yosef is because the bones of Yosef was he made the Jews promise to take his bones and to bring them back to be brought back to the Holy Land to be buried in Israel. And so they actually accompanied they took the Holy Ark, and they took the bones of Yosef. It seems from the Talmud they were transported together, not by the same people perhaps, but they transported together. So it just struck me as here I'm reading this, and it also reminded me, reflecting back on the time, getting a little nostalgic here. Also, the concept of phrase Atzmos Yosef was a phrase that I was introduced when I was learning Tractate Kedushin, if I remember correctly. It's a commentator on the Talmud was also borrowed that name, Atzmos Yosef, as a commentator on the Talmud. So these things combined together show that our lives are intertwined with all sorts of things make us up of who we are. And with being able to draw on those resources, being able to enjoy our circumstances wherever we find ourselves. So, wish you the best, and thank God able to sit outside here finally in Minnesota. It's finally there's rumors of spring. L'chaim, l'chaim.